Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. So, as y'all know, LeBron already made his decision to go play with the Philadelphia 76ers. And in the aftermath of that, there's been a lot of conversation circulating which has been centered on, did LeBron join another super team, right? Is he ring chasing? That's a term that's been going around quite a bit. And given the fact that his team and his circle are very, very swift, they immediately started to push back on it. His agent went out there. He put out some comments pushing back on it. Nick Wright went out there. Stephen A. Smith just yesterday went out there. They've done their best to kind of say, no, this is something different, blah, 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 blah. Now, things only got worse when Kevin Durant was asked about it. And he said that what LeBron did, just paraphrasing here the general idea, is worse than what he did. Because KD said when he joined the Golden State Warriors, it was a team where you had three guys that could score 20 a game. Him, Clay, and Stephen Curry. He's like, LeBron now joins a team where you have five guys or four guys that can score 25 a game. Speaking of Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, Joel Embiid, and of course LeBron himself, right? And various people began to push back. And then I noticed something yesterday. I was doing a live show, and one of our viewers was like, "Hey man, did you see what Malika Andrews and them did on First Take on ESPN?" Now, as you guys know, Malika Andrews is a LeBron fan. Pretty much anybody that works for ESPN by default is a huge LeBron James supporter. So I was like, okay, after the live, I'll go check it out. So today I was searching for the video, and I came across the video. Actually, it was, I think, from, what was it, Countdown or something like that. They didn't really specify the show, but on the panel, it was, let me see, did they list the people? Yeah, you had Bobby Marks, Anthony Slater, and Vincent Goodell. Vincent Goodwill. So they brought up this topic. And of course, leave it to Malika Andrews to set it off. And then from there, the entire panel just basically tried to shut down Kevin Durant and make it seem like he doesn't know what he's talking about. Knock it off, KD. What are you trying to pull off here? So we want to play the sound for you guys. Take a listen to it here. And then we're going to come back and react to it. Take a listen to this here.
So here's what we know. We know that Kevin Durant is one of the most outspoken users of social media, and he replied to a fan who compared the current Sixers super team to the Warriors. This is what he said. It ain't close. Joel, MVP recently. Jaylen Brown, recent finals MVP. Tyrese Maxey, all-star the last 3 years. We know all that LeBron does. Klay Thompson, never an MVP candidate in nothing, 22 points a game. Draymond, 14 points a game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Steph, an MVP just like Joel was. I don't get how the Warriors team is better on paper. So then Klay Thompson responds, hey man, we good? You good? What are you using my government name for? Full firsty lasty. Klay Thompson, not MVP, KD said. And Slater, you covered that Warriors squad. Does Kevin Durant have a point in terms of what these two teams looked like on paper?
The only point that he was correct on is that it isn't close. Now, he's incorrect on why it's not close and the team it isn't. I mean, one of the, the guy who didn't respond at all today was Steph Curry. How about him just saying, Steph and Joel Embiid at this stage of their career and that stage of Steph is equal? I mean, we're talking about Steph Curry was coming off 2 consecutive MVPs at the time, unanimous. We know what Joel Embiid's last few years have been like. But look, on here, these are the ages of when Kevin Durant made the decision to leave and when LeBron did. And I think the main one, Kevin Durant's 27 at the time. LeBron James is 41. He's minimizing, I think, in trying to minimize the reaction to the decision way back then, he's minimizing who the Warriors were, including himself at the time. These are 2 all-time greats at the peak of their powers. Clay, who he was, and then Draymond, of course. Sure, throw his stats up there. Maybe mention that he was like a generational defender at the peak of his powers. They went 16-1 in the playoffs.
Wait, say more on what you mean about he's trying to defend the initial decision.
Well, I think part of what he is saying here is going against the criticism of why he made the move back then in the comparison of LeBron making the move now. And hey, it's LeBron joining that type of super team just like I did. Very different scenario.
I still don't totally abide by or align with the criticism of him joining. It turned into some of the most epic duels that we've ever seen in the NBA. But go ahead, Vinny.
I had no problem with Kevin Durant joining Golden State in 2016. I take a little umbrage with what he's saying now. These is not apples to apples. If LeBron and Joel Embiid were both in their primes, and then you add Jaylen Brown and Tyrese Maxey, maybe you can have some level of discussion. But Joel Embiid is nowhere near his MVP form. LeBron James has not won anything close to an MVP in over 13 years. That is the difference here. All of those guys in Golden State were in their prime, including Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry coming off of that unanimous MVP season. You can see that Kevin Durant is still very sensitive to the criticism that he's received at that point and everything that's happened since then. So whenever he gets a chance to take a shot, he's going to take a shot, including that Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is just out there chilling on his boat with his dog. How did he catch a stray?
Fantastic. So you heard what was said. Let me tell you guys what I've noticed just from afar. KD is one of those people in media that has a green light on him, meaning that you can talk about him any kind of way you want on TV. Kyrie Irving is another one. Kawhi Leonard to a certain extent. Kobe Bryant is. But LeBron is the guy that he doesn't have a green light on for the most part, especially on ESPN. Anything KD says, you can bring on analysts, they'll shut him down, do this, do that, because he has a green light on him. KD, they've already accepted amongst themselves that Kevin Durant is one of the odd men out, right? He's the guy that whatever he says, the media is usually going to disagree with him. I've noticed that. I've noticed that there's certain people that are part of the in crowd, and then there's certain people that are part of the out crowd. And KD seems to be one of them. I've noticed that. Draymond Green, in some cases, is part of the in crowd, and part of the out crowd, but mostly because of by proxy for who he's very close with in LeBron. Look, these guys can slice it any way you want. The fact of the matter is, a lot of people felt like Philadelphia was going to be a very good team. They were going to be a stout team next season. When you have young stars like VJ, up and coming players, future stars in VJ Edgecombe, you had Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP, best two-way player in the NBA last year, arguably. You had Tyrese Maxey, who was an all-star. You have two all-stars there. And then, of course, you add LeBron James. You put all of these, and then, of course, Joel Embiid, former MVP. And when he's healthy, well, you saw what he was able to do in the playoffs last year against, I believe it was the Celtics, if I'm not mistaken. So they can spin it whatever way they want, but we all know what the truth is. In terms of KD and why Malika and all of, because they want that to be KD's legacy. Although she said, I didn't beat him up for it. Your network did. They did. They want that to be his legacy, and we get to define what LeBron's legacy is, and you don't get to have a say on it. That's why they push back on people like KD and all of these guys. Yesterday, there was a video that I saw on X. Right? And it featured Rich Paul and who was it? Rich Paul and Max Kellerman, right? And they were talking about, the whole dynamic surrounding the Sixers and how they can win and all of this and all of that. And they were talking about a particular player in VJ Edgecombe, right? And they were essentially saying that VJ Edgecombe should just take his ego out of the equation, right? Take your ego out of the equation. Don't listen to what people are saying on the outside. You just need to focus on what's important, and you winning is the most important thing. And if you focus on winning, then you should be fine, right? Essentially saying, don't worry about your numbers. Now, VJ Edgecombe is a rookie. Well, just finished his rookie season. In his first year as a rookie, he averaged 16 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, and 4.2 assists on 43.8% field goal shooting from the field, 81%, 82% from the free throw line, 35% from the three, and 1.4 steals per game. But he had a very, very good rookie campaign debut. And a lot of people felt like he was going to have an even stronger season coming into his sophomore year. But then the news came. So they were talking about this guy taking a step back, right? Take a step back and just don't worry about your numbers and all of this. Then I came across a segment yesterday on First Things First with Nick Wright and Chris Broussard and Kevin Wiles. And Nick Wright was up there trying to convince VJ Edgecombe to sacrifice his numbers for a billionaire in LeBron James, because don't worry, in the future, winning is going to bring you a lot of money. Don't focus on that right now. Essentially, just do whatever you can to help LeBron win. Then when he wins the title, we're never going to mention you played any kind of role in it. And then in the future, maybe you'll make a lot of money because you won a ring with LeBron. That's essentially what they were trying to convince him of. So we want to play what these people had to say yesterday on First Things First, and then we'll come back and react to their comments. Take a listen to that there.
And I've been big on chemistry since the Knicks won. I said the secret sauce is like, you know what? They're all friends, and they all root for each other. And after they won, they were like, you know what? We were all cast off second-round picks. People didn't believe in us. We all came together, and we all rode for each other. It feels a little bit like this is the opposite story. LeBron has always been the man since St. Vincent, St. Mary's. He wasn't the man in the Lakers, and to the point where like, it's an odd fit. I'll be the Swiss Army knife, but I'd rather leave. And the Lakers were obviously apart. Jaylen Brown is like, I'm finals MVP, I'm the man. And Tatum goes down, like, now I get to prove I'm the man. I'm in the MVP conversation. Celtics like, we know you want to be the man, but kind of have the man, so why don't you go here? He's like, good, I'll go to Philly, be the man, but now he's not the man. Maxey might be the best player, so he's actually the man. Embiid is the man because it's been his team. And VJ Edgecombe is like, by the way, I'd like to be the man. I'm trending towards being the man. Ability. So I just don't think it's not nothing.
Listen.
I think it's actually a real story.
I think that's a real thing. So can I address that and answer the question? So here's what I think they have going for them to counterbalance that. I don't know that LeBron has a better relationship with any guy in the league 20 years younger than him than the one he has with Maxey.
I agree with that.
He and Maxey are super tight. Maxey is thrilled about this. Maxey is the best player on that team prior to, I feel like Maxey, he certainly has an argument he's the best player on the team.
He probably is, but he did defer to Embiid in the playoffs.
Correct.
I don't know if that's right or wrong.
And he and Maxey, I think, will be good. Mm-hmm. LeBron and Embiid played great together in the Olympics.
Yep.
That LeBron Embiid pick and roll when Embiid played in those Olympics was before the game where Steph went crazy. Like, that was the team's bread and butter. And I think Embiid's happy about this. Jaylen is in a tricky spot. But Jaylen has heard this entire summer everybody discussing how his stats were fake. Like, you know what I mean? How it's like, his numbers were this, but actually he's not good. Actually, he's a negative player. And his, I think, trump card is, but since I've come into the league, my team's won more games than anybody else's team. So I'm this negative player, but I always win. I think at least for the first season, and then we'll see how the first season goes, I think Jaylen Brown will do what it takes to contribute to winning. And Edgecombe, I think you're very lucky that he's not yet in year 3 or 4, where he's not even going to be extension eligible after this year. He's the guy that's going to have to take the smallest role, I think, of everyone. Yep. And I think that's the easiest for a guy who's that far from a payday, because he seems like a sharp kid and understands nothing is better for a guy's long-term viability, market, everything than playing on national TV, playing deep in the playoffs, proving yourself there.
He also likes just putting the ball in the basket.
Absolutely. So that would be, I think what you're saying, Dust, give me an extra minute here because I want to answer the question. But so I think it's a real concern, but I think there are reasons to think they'll be able to work it out.
So you heard what they had to say. What are my thoughts about this? You can't be serious. They want this guy to give up affect his earning potential, the trajectory of it, to help LeBron James win a title, not knowing if he could win a title or not, and then say, a championship down the road, that will definitely work for you. That's number one. Number two, just help me figure this out for a second. I know Tyrese Maxey signed to Clutch. I know LeBron is represented by Clutch. I know Nick Nurse is represented by Clutch. VJ Edgecombe isn't represented by Clutch. So why are you giving him career advice when he already has an agent? Am I the only one that finds something wrong with this? This is the same thing that caused Rich Paul to get approached by Austin Reeves' agent. Does no one see an issue with this? You're advising someone else's client on what they should do with their NBA career. You cannot make this stuff up anymore. And VJ would be a fool. He would be a fool to take a step back. This is when you begin to establish yourself in the NBA. And this is what Shaq said. And you want him to take a step back to hurt his future earnings because he playing with LeBron James and you guys are so desperate to get him a ring. So this young man should sacrifice his future. You can't even be serious. That's what his fans were asking of Austin Reeves. Why do Austin Reeves need this money? He should take less. And LeBron, the billionaire, he should take more because he won who? You must be insane. LeBron been playing for 23 years. He's made all the money in the world. You can make as much money as you want, but I ain't giving you my money, not when you're a billionaire. To hell with that. If anything, you don't need it. And if you need it, I need it just as badly. Matter of fact, I need it more than you. But this is the mentality. So now they want this guy to sacrifice his future potential earnings, and you can say, oh, I won a champ. Really? That only works for the superstars. VJ is most likely going to be relegated to becoming a role player. A role player talking about don't listen to all the outside noise. Meanwhile, all they do is respond to everything that's said outside about their client. You can't make this stuff up. And am I the only one that notices something wrong with that? Because if I'm the representation of VJ, I'm going to have, why are you advising my client on what to do? Publicly at that. I would have some issues with that. What is this? So you got this kind of like beef that's been going on now for not really a beef, right? And I've done my best to not talk about this particular story here and stories that are similar to this and the reason why is simply this. This is none of my business in the sense that these are people talking about their businesses, their personal finances, their corporation. So I barely get in. I don't care, right? People like the whole Gilbert Arenas and his I don't care. It's not my money. I'm not getting any of that money. That's their money. That's their business. I ain't counting nobody's pockets. That's just me, right? But yesterday I saw something and I laughed. When I told you I laughed for like a good few minutes when Shannon Sharpe said this. So this is just my take on things from an outsider looking in. This is probably going to be the only show that I do about this. Emmanuel Acho comes across to me with his show as somebody that's been looking for someone to respond to him for a minute now. He didn't win at he didn't win at I think Stephen A. Smith, and I think eventually Stephen A. Smith responded to him. He didn't win at a few he didn't win at a few cats, right? But I just thought that he was trying to get these people to respond to him badly. So he would talk about this guy, talk about that guy. And whenever somebody would talk about, like, respond back, they would like, fired up, boys. And then the engines would get fired up and then they would just start going like at it. So I had seen some clips about this here and there. And I've seen videos of people kind of like not making fun of him, but the whole backstory of how he got his podcast or his show or his YouTube channel. You guys know the whole thing, right? You guys know the whole story. So Shannon Sharpe and these guys, I guess they were like on vacation or something like this. And they came back and Shannon and these guys decided to, like, okay, let me respond to you. And Shannon Sharpe, y'all know Shannon Sharpe is extremely funny. But he hit him with this line where he was like, this is my show and you guys are squatters. When I tell you I laughed for like a good 5 minutes. Like, it was so fun. Even the people on the Speak Easy show, even they were laughing. It was so funny. Take a look at the video here.
Numbers they never seen before. Keep y'all foot on their neck, Big Three. They know what time it is. They already know who we are. They know what we do. And that was happy. We give a little shine. We let the sun shine on them a little bit. But guess what? We come back out and shade. Hey. They'll die off again.
We did our restitution.
Hey. I ain't even say that.
What?
I could have said something. We was all.
Yeah.
I could have chimed in.
They
but
want
I ain't
to.
wanna,
I ain't got nothing for them, bro. But they already know.
Hey, most of the time, Uncle Joe, I like to go. I like to go back and forth.
Organically, 2 million subs. I ain't no squatter. I ain't moving to somebody's house I didn't pay for until I get my house. I've been here for 30 days.
That's taking big shots.
Huh?
All
right, now. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's one thing. We not squatters. Take it how you want to.
Yeah. So you saw the video there, right? So Acho sees that, and of course he gets tight. Right? Call it whatever you want. He felt the kind of way. And then he decided to put up a response video to respond to what Shannon Sharpe had to say. All right, so take a listen to what Acho had to say here, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to his response here.
When Nightcap and all other shows start seeing numbers they've never seen before, and that was happy. They got, hey, we give them a little shine. We let the sun shine on them a little bit. But that's guess what? We come back out, shade. Hey, they'll die off again.
Shout out to y'all for being the BlackBerry, but the iPhone is coming. But what Shannon has built is incredible. Chad is hilarious, and whenever I see Chad, it's always love. We are absolutely a better show. We're a better produced show. We are a more invested show. We're actually in studio. We talk to our audience. We engage our audience. We commit more to the show. We don't do the show from hotel rooms. We actually like read the super chats in real time. We have more than just one-shot camera angles. We can actually do a 3-shot. So shout out to y'all for being the BlackBerry, but the iPhone is coming. So the BlackBerry, shout out. The iPhone is coming.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So you heard his response. First of all, when Shannon Sharpe made those comments, they were like, it's over. Like, he finished you. The squatters, it was so funny. And I even watched it on their show when it was so funny. He called these people squatters, bro. Squatters. Now, what's my take on this? This entire media ecosystem is just becoming, it's like one big pissing contest. Like, literally, that's all it's become. Who has the most subs? Who has the most views? And now that becomes the metric. Hey, I got 1.5 million subs. I got 2 million subs. I got 2.5 million subs. I got 10 million views. I got 20 million views. I got 30 million views this month. I got that. Like, that's the whole thing that it's become. In terms of Emmanuel Acho, there are two ways to look at it. A lot of people are like, bro, you didn't build that audience. That used to be the old Undisputed channel. They gave you that channel and you built it up to what it was, but you didn't build it from scratch. So there are a lot of people that are not going to give him that respect. And I feel like Acho, when they make those comments, it kind of digs at him, right? So you have those group of people out there. Then you have the other line, and I think Acho has said it, which is like, hey, well, people invest in companies all the time. They take them over, they change this up, change that up, and they grow it to whatever, which is the case, right? Because Acho's probably looking at it from the standpoint, this channel was dormant, we started publishing on it, and this and this and this, right? Now, YouTube is a funny place. Because the algorithm works in a very strange way. If you look at our channel, we didn't start off talking about basketball. We started off talking about a whole bunch of different things until we found what worked for us. I think the channels that do the best are those that you know exactly what you want to talk about from the onset, and then you just do that thing, right? The algorithm kind of understands better, and I've noticed those channels kind of behave a little bit differently than other channels where you have kind of this stuff going on here. For example, last year, on this channel you're looking at here, we experimented with a lot of political content, and the videos did very well, but it wasn't making any sense. So we then created a separate channel for politics. We started in January. We're almost at 50,000 subs, so that works much better right now. The internet is such a wild place. Like, I saw a video with Winnie the Pooh Low, who always in somebody's pockets, always watching somebody pocket. That dude pocket watches more than anybody. He like the YouTube financial auditor, bro. He like the IRS of YouTube. He always counting how many views somebody got, how much money they made. That's his business. Like, he knows how much money everybody makes, right? He to tell you how much Gilbert Arenas and them, like, that's his world. I don't understand it. What kind of man runs around analyzing how much money all these other, like, who cares? It's none of your money. It's not your money. Focus on your own money. But anyway, I saw a video where he was reacting to a post that Emmanuel Acho put up, where it's like their channel got 8 million views, and I think in a month, and forgot whatever the hell it was, but like 8 million views, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know how much Undisputed gets, but they get a lot of views. Look, my thing is this, man. Everybody should just go out there and make your money. There's enough money for everybody out here if you're willing to grind and you're willing to work. The fact is, what Shannon is doing doesn't matter. It doesn't affect what you're doing. Saying that, oh, Shannon, go invest in a studio, go invest in this, go invest in that. Some people don't need to do all of that. I think that's the point that Emmanuel is missing. Some people don't need to spend that money the way you think. Some people got it like that. Whereas some people, they need to do that. Look at Joe Rogan. Does Joe Rogan have one of the best setups you've seen? Hell no. It looks like he's in a damn wine cellar. But his shows, he's one of the most successful podcasters in the world. Right? And then you have other people that have these elaborate setups and they do very well. It all depends. Shannon Sharpe can do this. You know why I think it doesn't matter? Because Shannon's brand, it's so strong that people are there for him. And if you see him in a hotel room, or you see him here, or you see him there, people know that these people travel. They move around. People are not stupid. They know this. They're not dumb. Like, if I'm traveling around, how the hell am I going to do a show in a studio if I move around a lot? Whereas if I'm a more centralized person and I'm in one place, then yeah. Then you got to look at the fact, what if everybody that we're doing the show with lives in different places? What if Chad Johnson lives in Miami and Joe Johnson lives in Atlanta? Or I mean, Shannon Sharpe maybe lives in California. Well, how the hell are they all going to be in studio? You forget, these people also have lives outside of the show. So there are a lot of circumstances. My thing is, there's not one size fit all. There are people that spend buku dollars on setups and it goes nowhere. Because at the end of the day, the setup matters, but not as much as people think it does. What matters is the personality and the content. That's what matters ultimately the most. And we can say whatever the hell we want to say about Shannon Sharpe and this and that and this and that, but Shannon has built a very, 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 very successful show. I'm just going to give you guys a quick overview of, and I hate to do this because this is none of my business. This is something that Winnie the Pooh Low does. He's the one that runs around counting how much money people make on YouTube every month. I don't care because it's not my business, right? But let's just take a quick look at how many views Shannon Sharpe got on Nightcap. And of course, he has the other channel, but let's just take a quick look. How many views? And we don't know how much money he makes on sponsors, so we don't know. But looking at Nightcap, all right, the guy picked up 20,000 subs. He's picking up 10 to 20,000 subs a month. That's a lot of subscribers. Last month, on a month that he was off, they got 32 million views. The month prior, 34 million views. The month prior, 38 million views. That's about 1 million views a day. A day. The guy is making millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And he's doing it from a hotel room. You know, and maybe that's what people like from him. So look, man, I think Chad lost this. I mean, Emmanuel Acho lost this one, because at the end of the day, Shannon did build his audience organically, and that's why you see those numbers. That is exactly why you see those numbers. A lot of those subscribers on his channel, bro. Nightcap has how many subscribers? Nightcap has 2 million subscribers. He got 30 million views. Speak Easy or whatever it is got how many subscribers they got? Let me see. Speak Easy. They have 2.6 million subscribers. And how many views did they get? And I hate doing this. This is so like low lights lifestyle. I don't do this. This is just mad corny to me, but this is him. 10 million views. You can't compare. You can't compare. You cannot compare. Shannon is in a totally different realm. And some people just got it like that. But man, when he hit him with that squatters comment, son, it was over for you, bro, at that point. Like, You can't go to war with somebody that's like they got jokes like that, man. You might want to let him, you know what I mean? You might want to let him be. As you guys know, this whole story of LeBron signing with Philly, oh man, you know, he was up at 1 a.m. looking at old Bill Russell highlights, and then the moon became a full moon, and he decided, you know what, I'm gonna go sign with the Philadelphia. Like this was the whole story then, right? Matter of fact, I want to put up some posts because multiple accounts spoke about it, even Bleacher Report. So let's put up the accounts that commented on it at the time. So here's the Bleacher Report post. Decided at 1 a.m. LeBron made his decision to join the 76ers at 1 a.m. in the morning, per Rich Paul. Here's the other one. This is from ESPN itself. Inside LeBron's decision to join the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I want to go to the part where they spoke about his decision here. I read it earlier. Let me see if I can find it here. It says, I'm trying to see it here, but there was a part where I read it. I don't know if I can find it anymore. I don't know. Yes. It said, it was after midnight, Thursday, when James was finally at peace with his decision, and he called Rich Paul, right? Matter of fact, let me read the part before that. It goes, the conversations continue with James's family back in Los Angeles last week before James, the father and husband, got the stamp of approval to follow the whims of James, the basketball player, once again. When you get the green light from Savannah, it means you're getting the green light from Zurich, Paul told ESPN, because the boys are out of the house. It was after midnight Thursday when James was finally at peace with his decision, and he called Rich Paul with the news. Paul was to reach out to the 76ers the following morning to inform them that the four-time MVP, four-time champion and league all-time leading scorer was joining their team. On Friday, James followed a 5:30 a.m. workout with the morning round of Lakers Lakeside Golf Club in Burbank, California, when the wheels were set in motion. Right? This is like, my God, this is just magical stuff here. So silly me, I was just doing some research for a show that I was doing earlier today, and I saw a video here from VJ Edgecombe, and he was being interviewed by Shanae Ogumike. And when I saw it, well, matter of fact, before I ruin it, I want to play it for you guys. So now what we want to do is we want to play the video. I want you guys to watch it quickly. Listen to what VJ has to say here.
ESPN. Let's dive into this new team. Were you a part of the LeBron pitch at all?
See, I don't know. I ain't know LeBron. Like, I love LeBron, don't get me wrong. I just never, like, I met him. Obviously, we played against each other. Obviously, that's who I, looked up to when it comes to basketball and stuff like that. That's one of the reasons why I started playing ball when he was in Miami. But I ain't know him. But I keep calling Tyrese, and I was like, are we getting Bron? Are we getting Bron? And Tyrese is like, bro, I don't know. Like, I don't think so. But he knew the whole time, but he ain't want to tell me. That's what I feel. I might be wrong.
But something so serious, you got to keep it.
Exactly.
Keep it close.
Because you don't want to jinx it also.
Correct.
Bron could have been like, never mind, I'm going to go, somewhere else. But Reese ain't told me.
Are you mad at him for not telling you? Or you forgive him?
I forgive him because he did a really good job in pitching. So
clearly,
I forgive him.
Clearly. Where were you when you heard the news?
I was on the court mid-workout. So I'm literally working out. Coach, his Apple Watch keep going off and off and off. He's like, damn, what's happening? And then, he's like, we just got Bron. I'm like, you're lying. Equipment guys came out, medical guy came out. We just got Bron. So I stopped working out, went to my phone. I seen Shams tweeted we got Bron. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I finished my workout, and then I went back to...
Real hooper, finished the workout, didn't get distracted from one of the biggest news that ever happened.
Exactly, had to finish the workout.
So you saw it there. It looks like they've been new. Tyrese Maxey knew before VJ Edgecombe knew. So if LeBron made his decision at 1 a.m., what time did Tyrese Maxey, did he find out at 1:01 a.m.? This has to do with all of the stories that these guys tell, man. This entire offseason has been something else, watching these people like kind of bob and weave and like tell one story after the other. It's just unbelievable. Starting all the way at the beginning of free agency, we've done shows about this where these guys are just making up stories. Like just making up one thing after the other. First, it was like, LeBron is going to request from the Lakers something that represents his market value. You remember that, right? Then when they found out they weren't offering that, then it was like LeBron James is just playing for happiness. That's the most important thing. It just is a happiness decision and what makes me happy with my family. And then he now makes a decision to go join the Philadelphia 76ers. Oh, man, this wasn't about family. This was one about happiness. This wasn't about this. This was about like, yo, damn, son. Y'all been spinning this, like y'all been spinning the reality for a hot minute now. So it looks like even VJ, they knew like who y'all playing with, man. Like there are people out there that actually thought like that decision, LeBron made his decision that the first time on TV. The video is out there of Lenny Kravitz talking about this is something that they've been working on for years. Prior to him coming, they were trying to get him there for 2 years. Lenny Kravitz. How the hell did Lenny Kravitz know? They been new, man. They been new, but they want to kind of give it the whole, mystical, like, and then LeBron woke up and he, combed his beard and, the basketball god spoke to him and a bolt of lightning shot through the sky. And that's when he knew Philadelphia is the place to be. Or maybe he was watching Rocky and saw them eating, a Philly cheesesteak, and he got inspired by Rocky running through Philly. He's like, yeah, maybe Philly's where. Like, come on, knock it off, man. Knock it off. They done thought about this through and through. Now you're even hearing the story that son is going to live in New York. Right? And I was like, why are they going to live in New York? We did a show about it, and I was asking some of the viewers. It was like, well, because he has a lot of business interests. So you just figured that stuff out just like that in one day. No. All of this stuff has to be calculated. LeBron is a multi-billion-dollar guy in terms of not just his own wealth, but all of the money that's connected to him. You don't make this decision in a vacuum at 1 a.m. in the morning. No. You got to sit down and really kind of think things through strategically. And if you think otherwise, you're living in La La Land. Quite literally. No. This was well thought out. Edgecombe was out of the loop because he ain't in the loop. That's why he found out how he found out. But hey, it was a good story.